What was that all about?
Well, R2 has been...
No loose wire jokes.
Did I say anything?
He's trying.
I didn't say anything.
Hey guys, welcome back to the Midi-Chlorian Experience. Today we will be looking at the debated question of whether the Jedi are pacifists. It's hard to imagine the Jedi Order being pacifists when their entire culture and way of life is symbolized by a sword. The lightsaber is an iconic weapon and is consistently noted as belonging to the Jedi and being a Jedi weapon.
I saw your laser sword. Only Jedis carry that kind of weapon.
His lightsaber.
Ah, yes. A Jedi's weapon.
This is the weapon of a Jedi Knight.
Next time, try not to lose it.
Yes, Master.
This weapon is your life.
An unrelated but interesting detail is that Jedi lightsabers typically hang with the blade pointed down, but in the original trilogy, Darth Vader's lightsaber hangs with the blade up. His lightsaber hangs inverted because he himself is an inverted Jedi. Back to the topic, what is a pacifist? The definition of pacifism is the belief that any violence, including war, is unjustifiable under any circumstances, and that all disputes should be settled by peaceful means. But is violence always unjustifiable? Should the rebellion never have taken up arms against the Empire, kicking off the galactic civil war to liberate the galaxy? Should they have let the Empire continue its reign of tyranny across the stars, unchecked and unchallenged? Should Naboo have let the Trade Federation seize their planet in the invasion? As a real-world example, should the Allied powers not have intervened in World War II when Germany invaded Poland? Would the state of affairs be better if no one had stepped up during any of these conflicts? One of the problems with never being capable of violence is that you become a perpetual victim at the hands of those who take no issue with inflicting it. Violence is something whose existence is too dangerous to be wholly ignorant of or to live in blissful dismissal of its very possibility. Jedi are, first and foremost, warriors of a spiritual nature, but in contrast to samurai, who serve as a major inspiration for Jedi, are self-professed as not being instruments of warfare.
We're keepers of the peace, not soldiers.
And I can only protect you. I can't fight a war for you.
Jedi defend others and end conflicts as needed, rather than acting as combatants that pick fights.
A Jedi uses the Force for knowledge and defense, never for attack.
It is important to note that the lightsaber itself is a weapon that can be used defensively in addition to its offensive capacity. This means that while it can be used to take down a target, it can also be used to protect a target. Jedi train to be powerful warriors because it often takes a more powerful person to make violent individuals step down. Their Jedi training makes them competent at and capable of participating in conflict. A greater show of force is sometimes necessary, and you can only do that if you yourself are capable of violence. I am not making the accusation that Jedi are violent individuals, or even a violent culture, which would be quite different, but rather that they are individuals of violence. They are warriors.
The line, "the meek shall inherit the earth," meek is not a good translation. What it means is this: those who have swords and know how to use them, but keep them sheathed, will inherit the world. And that's another thing I've been telling. Yeah, no kidding. That's a lot different, man. That's a big difference. It's so great.
Do you know the expression, it's better to be a warrior in a garden than a gardener in a war?
Right, exactly. That's exactly it.
Jedi are not pacifists that never fight no matter the circumstance. They are powerful warriors that choose to be peaceful, which one can only do if you are capable of being unpeaceful. Because if you have the capability to be violent and make the choice not to, then you're peaceful. But if you are incapable of violence, you are not peaceful. You are simply weak. You have no choice and thus no virtue in being peaceful. It's simply the only thing you can do.
You're just sickening them. What am I doing when the zombies come? Right? Start reading up on shit. Get some powdered food. Plant some zucchini. Get a windmill. Right? And that's all well and good. But if you don't know how to fight, all you're doing is gathering supplies for the toughest guy in the block. Right? thinking about that. What am I gonna do? Some dude turns me upside down, starts shaking the gold coins out of my pockets.
And so, like, one of the things I tell young men, well, and young women as well, but the young men really need to hear this more, I think, is that you should be a monster. You know, because everyone says, well, you should be harmless, virtuous. You shouldn't do anyone any harm. You should sheath your competitive instinct. You shouldn't try to win. You know, you don't want to be too aggressive. You don't want to be too assertive. You want to take a back seat and all of that. It's like, no. Wrong. You should be a monster, an absolute monster, and then you should learn how to control it.
The inner darkness is not repressed, nor does it run rampant, but is integrated and brought under control so that it doesn't control them. A Jedi will remain peaceful, but if you challenge them, they will defeat you. The Jedi culture and code of conduct means they do not use their abilities to instigate or prolong conflict. Through training, Jedi have the capacity to deal in violence without succumbing to it. A Jedi will always try to engage in negotiation before drawing their weapons. Only when negotiation is not an option do Jedi draw their weapons, but they do so not to prolong or instigate conflict, but rather to end conflict. Like seeing Ben Kenobi in the Cantina or Luke Skywalker at the Battle of the Sarlacc, both of them tried to reach a peaceful conclusion through dialogue and only drew their weapons once the discussion was no longer possible.
This little one's not worth the effort. Come, let me get you something.
Luke, in this instance, even made multiple attempts to dissuade Jabba, despite knowing what a terrible person he was from his years growing up on Tatooine, opting to give the drug cartel boss multiple chances to end things in a peaceful manner.
I seek an audience with your greatness to bargain for Solo's life.
Jabba, this is your last chance. Free us or die.
The Jedi philosophy of discipline and self-control allows a Jedi to engage in conflict dispassionately, without falling to their emotions. Even after the emotional roller coaster he has been on, Obi-Wan does not engage Anakin in an emotionally charged manner, but puts his feelings to the side and stays focused, opting to fight smart instead of trying to match Anakin. Knowing that Anakin is much stronger than him allows him to fight smart and play defensive and wait for Anakin to make a mistake, rather than succumb to his feelings of betrayal, sadness, grief, and anger, which would make him an open target for Anakin to cut down. It is only when the fight ends that he is safe to let his emotions out fully. Jedi can feel emotions, but Jedi do not act from emotions. They act
when you are calm, at peace. Passive.
In other words, when they are centered or balanced. Rather like Buddhist monks who have reached enlightenment, or Stoic sages who retain their logos, learning to relinquish their feelings on things beyond their control, while controlling their response to such external things. Jedi act not as soldiers, but as peacekeepers who maintain order.
For over 1,000 generations, the Jedi Knights were the guardians of peace and justice in the Old Republic.
Jedi follow the will of the Force and maintain the harmony of the Force by resisting the corruption of the dark side. Well, those are my thoughts on Jedi and pacifism. If you like what I had to say, click the like button down below, subscribe for more of my content, which will be coming soon, and if you want to receive a notification when that will be, hit the bell icon down below so you don't miss the next one. Thank you for sticking around, and I'll see you all next time. May the Force be with you.